Hello everyone, welcome to another FilmCompath video. In this final video of 2020 recap, we bring to you the top international movies of the year that was. Amidst all the brilliant movies from around the world which we got in this pandemic-stricken year, these are the ones which we believe deserve your attention. Let us also mention that we are yet to watch Regina King's One Night in Miami or the Anthony Hopkins Olivia Colman starrer The Father, which we feel would have made to our list. Nevertheless, let's go ahead in celebrating what we have already watched. We have our top 10 fiction features, top 3 documentary features, and a few special mentions for this video. So sit back and take a sneak peek into the best of world cinema in the year 2020. Before we begin our top 10 international movies list, we would like to recommend you the top 3 documentaries we watched in 2020. At number 3, we have James Lebrecht, Nicole Newham directed Crip Camp. Using Lebrecht's childhood trip to Camp YearEnd in New York, Catskills as the genesis of Americans with Disabilities Act, we see what happens to a group of marginalized individuals who are given the chance to grow and dream outside of their society-enforced confines. The result is a cheer-inducing triumph of humanity. At number 2, we have Dick Johnson is Dead by Kirsten Johnson. Kirsten, in her attempt to prepare herself for her father's impending death, creates and records multiple situational set pieces in which her father, Dick Johnson, dies. And throughout this utmost eccentric piece, you experience all possible feelings and emotions you can ever think of and relate to. This is a film like none we have watched before. And then, at number 1 of our list of documentaries, we have My Octopus Teacher by Pippa Ulrich, a film that diffuses the barrier between fact and fiction. It is about the magical connection between a human and mollusk state as much as about the journey of life as any in art and philosophy. This is also a very special film, a must watch for everyone interested in good cinema. It is also streaming on Netflix. Grab a view at the largest possible screen to immerse into its exotic sea world. And now to our top 10 international movies list of 2020. At number 10 on our list, we have The Occupant, a Spanish thriller written and directed by David and Alex Pastor. The Occupant has a captivating premise of a man obsessed with the new occupants of his apartment, with Javier Gutierrez giving us yet another compelling performance. If you closely watch, you may also find undertones of the Oscar-winning movie Parasite in The Occupant, with a man who schemes to get a better life for himself. Another psychological thriller that establishes how much the idea of social status and consumerism has been deep-seated into our subconscious, so as to push us going to any length trying to avoid losing them. You can watch The Occupant on Netflix. At number 9, we have Minari, a Korean drama written and directed by Korean-American director Lee Isaac Chung. It is a semi-autobiographical take on Chung's own upbringing. The movie revolves around a South Korean immigrant family who tried to make it in rural America in the 1980s. Led by arresting performances from Steven Yeun and Ye Han, Minari offers an intimate and heart-wrenching portrait of a family and their assimilation in 1980s America. Minari is an extremely human story with beautiful set pieces of comedy, conflict and contemplation which stay with you long after the end credits roll. As the cliché goes, the best stories are universal. Minari takes you on a personal journey with characters which feel detailed and relatable. This is the kind of film which could win an Oscar nomination for Best Film, and we expect Minari will fit the bill well. At number 8 on our list of best international movies of the year 2020 is On the Rocks by Sofia Coppola. The story follows the journey of a father and a daughter as they tail the daughter's husband. Bill Murray as the endearing father and Rashida Jones as the daughter are exceptional. The movie is an old-fashioned New York screwball comedy that speaks volumes about the magical relationship between a father and her daughter without any underlining. The subtle nuances of the film are to be marveled that will bring you smile and tears at the same time. On the Rocks is available on Apple TV for watch. At number 7 on our list, we have the Iranian drama There Is No Evil, originally titled Shaitan Wujud Nadarad or Saturn Doesn't Exist by Mohammad Razulov. The film is an anthology of 4 stories revolving around the death penalty practices in Iran. Instead of narrowing down on the judiciary or convicts, the film zooms on the lives of others impacted by these death sentences in different ways. The film won the Golden Bear for the best film at the 70th Berlin International Film Festival, another major win for Razulov and Iranian cinema. Iran, where Razulov is sentenced to prison for filmmaking. Iran, where the annual average count of capital punishments ranges between 250 to 500. At number 6, we have Pieces of a Woman by Cornel Mundraxo, now streaming on Netflix. This is a film with an extremely zoomed-in look at motherhood, its various emotional aspects as well as the physical. The first half of the film is reminiscent of a Romanian New Wave movie with every minute of the physical ordeal of a woman in labor pain on display. The second half deals with the emotional part, the same woman coping up after facing a major tragedy and how that affects her relation with everyone around, including her own domineering mother. Vanessa Kirby as the woman in question is excellent, rightfully receiving an award for her performance in Venice. Pieces of a Woman is a difficult watch overall, but in case you are ready to take this journey with Vanessa, you might find yourself relate and respect womanhood a little more than before. At number 5, we have Nomadland, the independent American film directed and written by Chloe Zhao, which won the top prizes in both Venice and Toronto International Film Festivals last year. It is based on the 2017 non-fiction book by Jessica Bruder, starring Frances McDormand, who also produced the film. McDormand, as the woman who leaves a small town to travel around the American West, is phenomenal in probably her best performance. Well, yes, you hear us right, but do not expect a powerhouse act from her as in 3 Billboards or Fargo. This is a far calmer film of languid pace with things hardly going on, which makes this performance all the more difficult and moving. A poetic character study on the forgotten and downtrodden, Nomadland beautifully captures the restlessness left in the wake of the Great Recession, punctuated brilliantly by the original music by master composer Ludovico Einaudi. Chloe Zhao's thoughtful balance of majesty and intimacy makes Nomadland one of the most accomplished films of the year, an emotional tour de force that moves you but never imposes or manipulates. Both the film and McDormand are almost certain to win Oscar nominations in case the movie is included for the upcoming award season. At number 4, we have The Five Bloods, an American war drama directed by author Spike Lee. The film's plot follows a group of 4 aging Vietnam War veterans who return to the country in search of the remains of their fallen squad leader, as well as the treasure they buried while serving there. Sometimes the best way to call attention to an historical injustice is through bold entertainment. That's certainly what the great American author Spike Lee had in mind with The Five Bloods. The gold treasure is just a MacGuffin in this movie, which criticizes America of yesteryears and today, and all those American movies which were deployed to win the war on screen. By the end, you'll be spent, dazed, perhaps even confused, but stunned too at the audacity of it all and the feeling that it is so unequivocally the right movie at the right time. The Five Bloods is also streaming on Netflix right now. Go ahead and watch it. And now for our top 3 movies of the year 2020. At number 3 in our list of best international movies of 2020, we have First Cow, an American drama directed by Kelly Reichardt based on Jonathan Raymond's novel The Half-Life. First Cow finds director Kelly Reichardt revisiting territory and themes that will be familiar to fans of her previous work, with typically rewarding results. A minimalist humanist story that touches on labor and capital, history and national myth, economics and politics, all the while remaining a lovely, low-key buddy picture. The film feels like the revisiting of the advent of civilization based on the primal concept of supply and demand, questioning its foundational myths as well as embracing and celebrating it. It's a movie keenly connected to the history of the animal world as well as the human finding uncanny overlaps which are perfectly recognizable. At the second place, we have The Trial of Chicago 7, written and directed by the brilliant Aaron Sorkin. The film follows the Chicago 7, a group of anti-Vietnam War protesters charged with conspiracy and crossing state lines with the intention of inciting riots at the 1968 Democratic National Convention in Chicago, USA. As with all things Sorkin, it takes liberties with the truth. This is not a film to watch in place of reading up on the history, but it's an excellent supplement for that history and taken as a comment on the modern justice system. The trial of Chicago 7 might as well have been called the showcase of Sacha Baron Cohen. The Borat star is in splendid form here, with a fair possibility of winning him an Oscar nomination. Frank Langella as the Judge Hoffman is equally brilliant, if not more, and is expected to fight Baron once more in the supporting actor category across the award season. Another film which you can find streaming on Netflix. Before we reveal the top international movie of the year 2020, here are a few honorable mentions first. The Woman Who Ran by Korean author Hong Sang-soo is his usual minimalistic movie making, dealing in human characteristics, emotions, and relations. And yet, as always, Hong creates a unique perspective once again. Presenting gentle conversations between women, which are always intervened by men, Hong offers a unique take on our social construct where the female world is always intruded by the males in different shapes and forms. Our second mention, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, an adaptation of another August Wilson play directed by George C. Wolfe and co-produced by Denzel Washington. In a year marked by ensemble casts, this film perhaps is the strongest ensemble performance with Viola Davis and Chadwick Boseman in the lead. Both the actors are out of the world, but it particularly breaks your heart to find Boseman giving his finest screen performance in his last ever work. And our third and last special mention is for Remy Weeks' horror thriller His House, an unsettling horror drama where a South Sudan refugee family takes shelter in an English town. Featuring genuine scares throughout every corridor, His House is a terrifying look at the specters of the refugee experience and a stunning debut by Remy Weeks. This is also a film which exhibits how cinema as a medium transcends the barrier of time and space, which we wish to discuss in detail in a separate video. And now for the top spot. The best international fiction feature of 2020 goes to Never Really, Sometimes, Always, written and directed by Eliza Hickman. This is a tender story of two teenage girls in rural Pennsylvania who travel to New York City to seek out medical help after an unintended pregnancy. The movie won the Silver Bear Grand Jury Prize at the 70th Berlin International Film Festival. An enlightening script, expert ensemble acting, and perhaps the most revealing film ever made about a young woman's right to choose. Never Really, Sometimes, Always is funny, tender, and troubling at the same time. A quietly devastating gem. Hickman's superb screenplay is a marvel of economy, the strongest pillar of this film, along with brilliant performances by the two leading ladies. It will take some time for you to digest the fact that Sydney Flanagan playing Autumn is on her debut here. Perhaps one of the strongest debuts we have ever seen. Talia Ryder as Autumn's support is magnificent as well. A performance that grows on you after the film finishes. This is another film about experiencing womanhood without any kind of melodrama or manipulation. A must-watch once this is available on Indian film festivals or online platforms. Well, that's all from us on the listings of 2020. Catch up with these movies soon, and let's hope we have many more great movies coming our way in this new year. Also, do tell us if you have any other movie which you would like to see on our list. Happy New Year to all of you once again. Thank you for watching.